Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about Bitcoin ownership and Ethereum ownership. Okay. There is a saying that about 2% of the address own almost 95% of the Bitcoin. This is a quote by many people, including some famous leaders in specific field, such as Frank Kuster, CEO of Fear Group, American famous gold company, and Norio Robini, American famous economic. And this message leads to the misleading statistic, which result in a false narrative around Bitcoin ownership and other crypto ownership. Furthermore, this message caused misunderstanding about Bitcoin price and including other crypto asset like Ethereum is being manipulated. Okay, the analyst team from Glassnode have written an article in January this year to analyze the ownership of the Bitcoin and to draw out a conclusion that no, Bitcoin ownership is not highly concentrated. Based on two approach to justify this saying, not all the Bitcoin should be treated equal, and Bitcoin address is not an account. Usually, one person has multiple address. Okay. The analyst team's conclusion is that we can derive that about 2% of the network entity control about 71% of the Bitcoin. Okay, so this will lead me to think that how about Ethereum's ownership distribution. So I wrote some of the circle and checked the ownership, and here's what I found. And I was extremely shocked at first about this table. You can see it about 99% of the address holds only 5% of the Ether. In contrast, that is only 0.10% of all these address own almost 94% of the Ether. That definitely result a much higher Gini index rather than Bitcoin. Then I need to do the similar stuff that Glassnode analyst team did, which is not all the Ethereum address should be treated equally. Exchange address this is the same as Bitcoin exchange address and contract address, as we know that Bitcoin doesn't have smart contract feature, but the contract address in Ethereum should be something like an exchange, so they should be treated as funds. Okay. Also, I excluded some zero balance address, and one person user has multiple address. Yeah, this is the most tricky part. Article from Glassnode doesn't mention many details, so I need to do some research about it. Okay, know that I'm still using the same methodology to identify different holdings of the following marine specific, which is similar to Glassnode, from string to crab and octopus, and to whales and humpback. It's relatively easier to solve the specific address problem. This is the circle I write. Let me switch to another tab to see. This is the basic circle I write, which has excluded some exchange address that tag in Ethereum, and also the address as a contract, which is appear in Google's public BigQuery database. Okay, so here's what I found. The results in the table showed us that about 0.3% of the address, almost 92.5% of the Ethereum. At this moment, I haven't finished the relationship between different addresses, but this number might lead to a deduction that Ethereum ownership is even more higher concentrated than Bitcoin. This might scare many potential investors. However, this deduction reminds me that if it's like most of your portfolio ranking, sometimes in a bear market, let's say the average S&P 500 benchmark its return is about under 1%, which is another way of saying that most of the people's portfolio are underperformance or losing. They are under 1% of the profit. In such scenario, if you earn 2% of the alpha return comparing with the benchmark, you might already rank in the top 5%. If you earn more than 1% of the alpha return but less than 2%, you might already rank in the top 10%. This situation in Ethereum is a similar case. If one of your address has more than 20 Ether, you already among those top 1% of the address account as one of the richest one. Okay, so let's take a look at the relationship between different address and how frequently their transaction is. In order to seek the relationship between different address, I wrote some circle and Python code in the Jupyter notebook and also in Google Colab. Here's the link down below. This is the relationship analyst notebook, and I have filtered the transaction happened after July this year. Only filter that transaction has more than the count of the transaction has more than 10 in this notebook. Okay, there's a lot of log. Yeah, I have filter the criteria, and here's the result. I also upload in this GitHub notebook, and the result is I will paste here. You can see the Sankey chart between different type of the address according to different balance speed. The traffic here is the count of the transaction. So according to this chart, among those address balance being under 20 Ether, most of them, the green part on the right here, are related to the address balance between 1,000 and 10,000 here. Around 20% of the balance being less than 20 Ether might be considered as standalone address. That said, through a simple calculation method, about 80% of the address own about 7.5% of the Ether. Is the first row here in the previous table. In contrast, the left 20% of the address own about 92% of the Ether's balance. Okay, this may not represent the accurate ownership of Ethereum, but it should be enough to infer that most likely the ownership of Ethereum is not highly concentrated either. Okay, if you have any question and have a different opinion about what I said, you can leave a comment and even try to figure out on your own based on the public GitHub project. Okay, the topic I'll cover next time is how many Ethereum was sold and bought by different holding of marine species from string to whale during the crypto market crash in May the 19th. Okay, we'll see you next time. Okay, thank you.